Hello, this is Dean Phoenix. Welcome to the video. If you enjoy, then would you kindly like, comment and subscribe as we embark on a new playthrough, 1999 mode with the Scavenger Hunt achievement, and I live commented this as we go. Please enjoy. Hello everyone, this is Dean Phoenix and I am just starting a new playthrough of Bioshock Infinite on 1999 mode, and this will be basically using the principles from my 1999 walkthrough to show you how to hopefully complete it pretty easily with the Scavenger Hunt achievement, and we'll see how we go. Now basically this is 1999 mode, you can't change the difficulty or anything like that. It will always be fixed, as you can see there. Basically what I'll be looking at is how we're going to be doing this so that we can, like I say, play it as if I've got the Scavenger Hunt, was going to get the Scavenger Hunt achievement, which I have actually already got, and show the sort of gameplay principles, some of my thoughts on the game, and also just me playing 1999 mode because I absolutely love it. It's really good. It's a lot more difficult than Bioshock 2's hard difficulty, but I think it's still a level below Survivor on Bioshock 1, the extra difficulty they added, which is genuinely difficult for the first few levels until you get some overpowered stuff. And 1999 mode has a little bit better difficulty curve than that, because Bioshock 1 it just has some really broken stuff, so after you get a few levels in, especially when you get Adam and get certain things in Gene Tonics, Bioshock 1, which I probably will be playing at some point, I'll hopefully do a survivor playthrough to show my thoughts on that. That has like a weird difficulty curve where it starts off extremely high, and then after the first few levels it's not so bad. But Bioshock Infinite 1999, the main difficulty is that some of the gear is extremely powerful, but the gear is randomized, so you might not get it. But there are ways around that, so we're going to be doing that as well, and showing how you can get certain parts of gear at you know, certain things. So there'll be a couple of resets I'll be doing, like restart checkpoints, opportunities that you can use to do those. And that can get you certain parts of gear, which is really cool. So I've started from the Raffle checkpoint because everything before then is pretty straightforward. There's nothing clever that you need to do, there's nothing special that I can show you. It's just a really cool cinematic intro to the game with the lighthouse scene and all that, and then it's just making sure that you get everything, do the shooting galleries, and like I say, everything's pretty much the same. So we're just going to kill these dudes, and yeah, I can hold to execute. It's a good idea to execute these guys if you can, because it has like the little animation which stops you from getting hit, so you can't be hurt while they do that. And these guys, it's just meleeing these fellas, grab all of that. So I believe that these first few enemies are deliberately easier. They do less damage, especially the first pistol guy. But the rest of the time on 1999 mode, you take like a ton of damage, and it can be extremely dangerous. So just be careful with that. There's a health pack there. We've been playing on 1999 mode, and like I say, pretending that we've got. We're going for the Scavenger Hunt achievement, so kill this guy, gets you the first pistol. Now, the Scavenger Hunt achievement is basically that you don't use any dollar bill machines for the first chunk of... sorry, no, that's not right. I was trying to do two things at once there. You don't use any dollar bill machines in terms of buying them. You can possess them, which is no problem, but... just missed that, but you did anyway. Right, let's do this first. So this is really important. Possession aid adds the ability to possess humans who suicide when the effect expires. That is basically a free upgrade, because 50 silver eagles, I always call them crowns, 50 silver eagles is like virtually nothing, so there is never any reason for you not to buy that. So right, okay, let's go and grab this salts. So Scavenger Hunt, it's not, the thing about Scavenger Hunt is that it's not buying anything from dollar bill machines, so you can possess them to get the little bit of extra silver eagles from each one of those. But you don't want to be actually buying anything from them, so you don't buy any. You don't buy anything like salts or ammo, or that's what you can buy from the dollar bill machines. You know, I don't think I've ever actually used one, if I'm perfectly honest. Yeah, there should be a guy who appears behind us or drops in. He's not dropping in just yet. Can we get these guys to drop in? Anyway, make sure that you get the salts and things like that. Whee! Grab all of this stuff. And yeah, so Scavenger Hunt. Oh, there he is. I knew he was about somewhere. That made me jump. Right, let's go. So yeah, Scavenger Hunt is basically pretending that you don't have any use of dollar bill machines, even though I've got that achievement. So I'm going to be playing it like that is the thing. So you want to kill these guys. Focus on the pistol dudes first. And use the gun to your advantage. That gun's really weird. Sometimes it doesn't actually fire at you, even though it should be hostile, really. Which confused me. Confuses me greatly. Oh! Right, so we've got these guys to kill still. So I'll have to try and get some salts afterwards. So let's kill these dudes. Pistol's pretty good for a starting weapon. You can see that it's golden, and that's because on the Bioshock collection version, which this is on PlayStation 4, it actually makes the whoa, see there's the other turret, that one is hostile. It actually makes the game have the season pass type. Not got enough figure for that. You don't have the shield early on, so you've got to be a little bit careful, but the enemies do deal less damage. Anyway, so the best way to deal with this thing is just to wait until it's finished firing in bursts, and then nail it with load shots. You get tons of ammo here, so that's not a problem. So just keep dodging, hide behind here. And eventually you'll take this thing out. You can possess it if you're not used up all your salt like I did, but it's not a big deal. I deliberately left a lot of the food knocking about here so that I could come back for it, although there are plenty of health kits and things as well in the early going. So 1999 mode, early on you just got to be careful. So you've got to, like, you know, not do anything stupid really until you get your shield, and then your shield, you know, helps quite a lot. As you can see there, I've already full on pistol ammo again, so you never have to worry about using your pistol ammo. And yeah, what I was saying, because this is the Bioshock Infinite version on the PlayStation 4, which is like you've got the season pass and all the DLCs from the Bioshock collection, it has 35% damage for the pistol and the machine gun straight away, and it also has the Comstock's broom and Comstock's eye, which is 35% damage for sniper rifle and shotgun. So it's already easier, and also I believe the Hailfire repeater and the heater also already have one upgrade automatically. So the only ones that don't are the burst gun, the RPG, the hand cannon, volley gun, and carbine. So you've got like a good little boost there straight away. The shotgun in particular is very good. You can use it without really having to have any upgrades, because it's got that 35% boost, and you can, and its upgrades are cheap as well. So the that's a really good one. Right, so we just got to take these dudes out. You can do pretty well with these. Then we've got the Fireman coming out. Right, so who's shouting? They're all dead. Is he shouting in his death throes? That's weird. Anyway, so yeah, Scavenger Hunt is just about making sure that you pick up everything that you can. Make sure that you're trying to get as much money as possible because upgrades are really important. There is a way to farm gear, which I did a video on. That's been known for a long time. So I did my version of that, which I believe is one of the most efficient, or the most efficient ways of doing it. So you got to make sure that you're, paying attention. If you want to do that, it takes probably an hour or two, and it makes the game a ton easier if you want to do that. So an hour or two of that will get you all the gear that you need and make the game easier that way. So that is well worth thinking about doing. I do it usually. I haven't decided if I'll do it on this playthrough. I actually think that I may avoid doing that, because then I can show how the tactics work if you're not going to do that kind of stuff, and if you just want to do it normally. So I'm going to collect all this stuff. We want to make sure that we're getting salts full before you take on the Fireman, but if possible we also want to leave one of these salt pickups to come back to if possible, but it doesn't look like I'm going to do that. Salts can going to be able to do that. Salts can be pretty tricky to come by early on in the game, but you get some for getting Devil's Kiss from the Fireman here anyway, so that's not a problem. So this Fireman, he's not as tough as the rest of them are later on, but what you want to do is try and get as many critical hits on his head as possible first, and then possess him afterwards, and just get loads of criticals like that, shoot him in the head, and get as many hits as you can before it wears off. So there you go. Once you pick up Devil's Kiss, it should give you a load of the salts back as well. And Devil's Kiss is reasonably useful. Fire does less damage on 1999 mode, so it's not as dominating as it can be on normal mode. It's like really strong on normal, but less so on whoops. A lot less so on 1999 mode. There are other vigors that are miles better. So you don't want to come this way, you want to come up round the back here, just avoid the fire because that'll do damage to you. Now this thing, you can see the enemies will come out of the house there, and when they come out, wait until as late as possible and then just possess this. So you've got a few shots here, you've got these explosive barrels, take those out. Actually shot the one a little bit too close to the machine there, but that lets you take out the turret as well after it's done its usefulness. Really you should sort of leave it leave shooting those until after the turret has taken out most of these guys for you. But as you can see, wasn't a problem there. So we're just going to grab all this stuff. There's some salts there as well. For this mode where you're going to be doing scavenger hunt, not buying any salts or health, it's all about remembering where the pickups are, which ones you've not used, and sort of leaving them. So if you don't need something, don't pick it up at the time. So you want to make sure that I mean, it's not as crucial with snacks and things like that because they're only a tiny amount of health until you get the sheltered life gear, which is amazing and is one of the I think probably the best hat, so the best headgear to use on 1999 for the vast majority of the game. Arguably Rising Bloodlust is better, but that is one that you can't get until later in the game because it's a fixed drop, unlike most of the gear being randomized. So yeah, Sheltered Life is amazing, but until we get that we don't have to be too bothered about snacks. But stuff like all these salts, you can see there's plenty of salts knocking about, so we just want to get those and see how we go with that. So we're going to get all of these first. We get the message soon that you've got all the extras from having the season pass and the DLCs. There were 3 DLCs. The one was Industrial Revolution, I can't remember what the others were, but just make sure you're grabbing and looting everything. Soda there, which is great because that so there we've got 4 pieces of gear, 500 Silver Eagles, and another 3 pieces of gear, and then 3 pieces of gear for the other DLC. So you get loads of stuff here. You get absolutely loads of stuff right away. So if you're extremely finicky like me, then you might not want to grab some of these, but Electric Punch you definitely want. Ghost Soldier has its uses. I might as well just grab them all, to be honest. Sometimes if I'm being really finicky I won't grab that because I never really use it, but whilst it's the only boots, we might as well. Oh no, you get fleet feet. I could have just left that one, to be honest. Ammo advantage is really good. You reload as soon as you get that. Betrayer, that's really bad though. I've never used that, I'm not going to take that one. Bull rush is good. Equip that one, that's really useful early on. Extra is great for a bit of extra money, which is really important. Fleet feet is the boots gear that we use for the vast majority of the time. Handyman Nemesis is excellent and very useful, so take that one. And Sugar Rush has its uses. It can be good, so we'll take that one as well. Now I will always put these 5 infusions that you get, I will put them into a specific thing, so I'll get 1 for shield, and then I will always get 4 into salts. And the reason is, if you can see, this last one is going to make it so that you can see there's 3 bars for possession there. Possession is unreal, it's extremely good. So I always want to do that. So make sure you're full on salts and everything else. Make sure you grab the Silver Eagles. There was a bar on one of these. There was a bar to grab on one of these, which is like a big chunk of money, like that sort of gold or silver bar. So we get all this stuff, and then we want to grab the shield. So the shield's really good. As you can see, it starts off quite small there. It's only a little bit of protection, but you can get back into cover. One of the things on 1999 mode is that it takes a lot longer for the shield to regenerate when you are doing that. So when you're hiding behind cover, it can take a while. But there's a way to very easily guarantee that you get the urgent care gear for the pants slot, which I will be getting when we get to the Church of the Zealot. It's an easily repeatable, guaranteed way to get that. Just check that there's no pickups here. I don't believe there are. But, oh yeah, there are. So you can get some machine gun ammo, stuff like that. Right, so let's have a look. Now we just had extra for the Vox phones, but you want to switch that to be electric punch whenever you're in combat or not about to pick up a Vox phone. That's what we're doing. And here you get to pick up the machine gun, and the machine gun's really useful. So that again has the boost to its damage. And like I say, we're going to leave that health there, and we're going to make our way forwards, and you can possess the turret. So possess one of these guys first, let them fight amongst themselves for a bit. We've got Bull Rush, knock those guys back as well. Take out the guys with the guns first, because obviously they can hurt you from range. Try and get headshots whenever you can, and then there is a turret there. So what we're going to be doing is hitting the turret with possession and then running and triggering the rest of the enemies, because it can help a lot. So these guys, these all jump in, run back this way, try and draw them towards the turret, and then the turret will do a lot of damage for you. And that will help. So they might also deal some damage to the turret, because they'll be attacking it as well. And if your shield goes down, you can just come back here, try and get a bit more. So we want to throw these guys forward if you can. So eventually this thing will start attacking you again, which is a bit of a problem. So if you don't get drawn forward enough, it's not a massive deal. And as you can see, that made the turret a lot easier to deal with, and it also took some health off these guys. So that person went down in 1 bullet. And then we've got this person here. So you can also possess her. So there are loads of salt pickups around, and you want to basically use possession wherever possible. It's really helpful, and you can save yourself a ton of time and turn the turrets and everybody else against each other. So just absolutely brilliant. Possession is God, basically. So are there anybody else about? Yeah, you can hear somebody. Take them out, and there are loads of salt pickups. So because we've got that extra use of possession, it's not that difficult. So it also draws the enemy's fire away a lot of the time. which makes it a little bit easier because you can take a ton of damage if you're not careful. Well, you can take a ton of damage anyway, even if you are relatively careful, because that's just 1999 mode for you. So you can see we came through that relatively unscathed, or in fact completely unscathed, and we've already got full salts again, and that was purely using possession, didn't have to resort to Devil's Kiss. 61 machine gun ammo with the reserve of 105 is the maximum you can have. That's with ammo advantage and no upgrades for the machine gun, and the 21 bullets in the actual rounds chamber, whatever, clip for the pistol is the most that you can have for that. So if you want to, after this turret's destroyed, you can jump over there first and loot it, and then carry on. So came through that all unscathed, absolutely real. That's about as perfectly as I could have played that first bit from my point. Now here we've got that balcony you can jump down to there, is where you can get an infusion, but you need to have got the key from the Order of the Crow and come back first. So not going to go there just yet, I'll come back and do that later. Make sure that you always grab any Silver Eagles, we're using those later for upgrades. Really important, obviously the achievement's called Scavenger Hunt for a reason. That is why you want to be scavenging things. So this bit here, there are health packs, small one there, large one here, and there are 2 cigarettes and salts pickup here, which is really important. Don't take that because whiskey, alcohol, will always result in your salts going down. Salts are more valuable than health a lot of the time, I feel. So you can possess the turret, and the turret will help do some damage. If you can just stay behind cover, just keep your let your shield recharge, and they will, again, this has the benefit of drawing the enemy's fire and doing damage to them, and also you know, causing damage to the enemies, and the turret will get hurt itself as well. So if you can take them out with a pistol, save yourself a little bit of machine gun ammo, that's useful. But then you've got the Fireman coming here, and he will be pretty difficult. So try and take these guys out with the pistol, try and hit the Fireman from distance. I like having the thing on, I can't remember what it is, but there's an option where it shows you like critical hits, the right flashes up, which is useful. So if this guy's hitting you in the neck like that, just hit him with that stuff, and then when you need salts or anything else, you can use those, and then you've got the ability to possess him, and he will take less damage when he's possessed, but it gives you the opportunity to take him out a little safer. So if he's the last one left and you've still got some salts to spare, you don't have to worry about that. There are plenty of salts pickups again. So you can see there, that was the cigarettes that you can pick up, and I will always get these cigarettes because it's well worth losing that tiny bit of health to have the opportunity to get more salts, because salts are life for me, at least in 1999 mode. I much prefer a salts heavy playthrough, because if you use possession, it distracts the enemies and then they suicide afterwards, unless it's a Fireman, so or a Crow. So danger on all sides there. When you're out of combat, you can switch to extra. If you know there's a Vox phone you want to pick up, I just showed one of the whatever they're called, the things, play the videos if you're trying to get the achievements for that. Always possess the machines, even when possession costs you a lot of salts early on. There are lots of salts around, especially if you've got those upgrades. Just make sure that our health is upgraded again. And we still got a reasonable amount of machine gun ammo there as well, so that was good. So just going to grab all this stuff. Soda's really good because, like I say, just going to pick up all these machine guns. The salts pick up soda is really good because that just replenishes your salts without costing you any health or anything like that. And that's absolutely fine. These fireworks things can be used to shoot those and there are quite a few of those about as well. And as you can see, I didn't have to risk the turret because that got taken out itself. Anyway, as the salts pick up there, I tend to leave that for when I'm coming back, because we will be coming back this way. As I mentioned, there was a key that we need later. But for now, I'm just going to possess one of these guys, and then they can fight amongst themselves. There's a guy who will come up this side as well.
Come on!
And if you can get close enough to him to use Bull Rush and knock him back like that, that's why Bull Rush is really useful. So that's a nice little bonus of it being this version. Make sure we pick up the pistol ammo there. Make sure we don't pick up. There we go. Get the cigarettes. Full on machine gun ammo. Make sure we don't pick up the alcoholic drinks wherever possible. And we should very easily be able to get full salts again, because there are a couple of pickups here as well. Right. So we've got all these. Some 25 salt, we'll just grab that, and then there is some coffee over here on the table. Probably would be possible to do this on 1999 mode straight away if you're using my guide. I would hope it would anyway. It is tricky, but it's not massively difficult. It's not impossible by any stretch. So, right, let's have a go. So this here, I like to throw a possession trap right in the middle of these 5 guys, because only one person can be possessed at a time, and that means that doing that and throwing a Devil's Kiss will possess one of those dudes, and also mean that he sets everybody on fire as he's running about. There'll be one guy left. And here he comes. He's set on fire by that dude still. So that dude put in a ton of work for me. Cheers, matey! Dead good. Right, so quick little thing about this as well. I normally put my first 6 infusions into salt after that first one in shield, but you could very easily go with a couple in shield and then flesh the salts out later. But I'll show you a good thing about using the infusions for salts. Still got extra, I should have changed that back really, but not causing a big problem here. So you see how my salts are like, you know, quite low at the minute. Or they were before I got that. If you put an infusion into salts or health and you are lacking in salts and health, it will fill them up. So you can make a sort of strategic use of the whoops, shouldn't have done that, but there are loads of salts about anyway, so you can make a strategic use of those upgrades, the infusions, and do that as well. So here we are going to be facing the first crow. So there's not much to loot here, if anything, I remember. So we're just going to get this. Now, after this elevator, lift, whatever, you have a really important bit, because there are fewer checkpoints on 1999 mode, but there is still a few. You can see in the top right, saving profile, auto saving. Now that means that if you restart checkpoint, it will put you back there. So if you die, you lose 100 silver eagles on 1999 mode, which is a lot considering you could be dying more often than usual. But what we're going to do instead is to restart if you die, so that you don't lose those 100 silver eagles. So pay attention to those checkpoints. But you see there, I've got Firebird. Now Firebird is not particularly useful. It has its uses with Winter Shield, which can be kind of cool, but not really. Cover that a little bit later if we get to that, but that's not one that I want. So that piece of gear, for whatever reason, will always be in the pants slot. I have a couple of theories as to why. I think one of them is really so that you will often get urgent care on 1999 mode, but because that gear is randomized, you can restart checkpoint like I did there. It doesn't take very long to do at all, and you can keep doing it until you get urgent care. And because this gear can only be a pants slot, it won't take very long for you to get that. So a couple of restarts is normally enough. I don't think it's ever taken me more than 5. So it'll only take a few minutes at most. And then once you've done that, you have urgent care. Now urgent care is brilliant because one of the big difficulties about 1999 mode is how long it takes your for your shield to start regenerating, and how slowly it regenerates when it actually does start. But urgent care mitigates some of that because it speeds up both of those processes. So as good as Bull Rush is, and you can definitely make good use of Bull Rush, because it's so easy to guarantee getting urgent care, I would always do that. Right, so that's all the box phones for that little bit that we've got. So now I'm just going to switch back to urgent care. Sorry, to electric punch for this first like mini boss fight, I suppose, which is the other slightly not heavy hitter but medium hitter enemies, which are the crows. So crows and firemen are a lot tougher than your regular enemies. So what we're going to do is there's plenty of salts knocking about here, and after you kill this first crow you get a new vigor from him, which also refills your salts to a large amount. So we're going to use all of our salts to put 3 salts, 3 in there, and then we're going to back off into this little triangle of traps that we've made, and then just going to go crazy on him with the machine gun, and then finish him off with the pistol. And when we grab this vigor, you get Murder of Crows, and you'll see that it will add a ton of salts to my meter, and then those doors in the background will both open and we can take those out. So Murder of Crows is really good. It's like Insect Swarm, slightly different. Insect Swarm from the Bioshock games, very slightly different. But, so you see here, the door opens there, and in combination with Devil's Kiss, it is a bigger combination, so it's very, very, very good for that. So always want to make sure you do that. Are they all dead? Mostly all dead. That pretty much took everybody out. You get salts for taking that guy out. These, for some reason, these 2 salt pickups will actually regenerate when you come back this way to get the salts infusion. So what I'm going to do is the infusion that I said I was going to double back for later, I'm going to use that to refill my salts again. So I'm going to do this big combat bit first, and then I'm going to double back for the infusion later. So this hat is a guaranteed one. So most gear drops are random, but this one isn't. This will always be burning Halo. And it's well worth grabbing, although fire damage does less damage on 1999 mode than on the lower difficulties. It's still worth grabbing, and it's really good with the charge. So we're going to use that much later in the game. For now, stick with electric punch. There's that sightseer thing there, the telescope. Make sure that you have a look at that. I'm full for salts, and I'm full for health, so I'm just going to kill these 2 guys, and then we've got like a big sort of encounter coming up, so we're going to be careful with that. Right, so hopefully you get a little bit of salts around here somewhere, and yeah, that's filled me up. So as long as we've got full salts, good to go here, and then we'll backtrack for the other stuff later. So, right, so we've got a little bit of machine gun ammo there, grab that as well. For this next area, I like to use crows and possession. There's a turret, so we're going to possess that, and then use that later. Bit of machine gun ammo, just grab that. Or a machine gun bullet, there was. So, this is the next part of it, and we're going to make sure that we don't use salts on anything else just yet. I'm going to clear out all of these enemies first. So if you run forward, you can possess this turret before they really know what's going on, and then try and take out the people with the guns first. Right, and then once they've done that, try and use possession on one of the other people who've got guns, because they're more useful to have them sort of on your side. Now whilst they're keeping each other busy, you can run forward and grab these salts, and then that makes it easier to deal with the rest of them. So again, just going to possess anyone who's got a gun. Just try and keep your distance, that's the easiest way of doing it. each other out a little bit. And if your shield gets taken out, just back off. Let it regenerate. So it's a little quicker because of urgent care already. And there's another salt to pick up here as well. So just want to make sure that we grab that. A couple of the guys will appear in a minute. Yep, there's one of them. And that's why electric punch is useful. So again, in the early going, you just want to be letting the shield regenerate before you do anything else. And possess one or two guys. And this makes everything a little bit easier. Make sure you're not getting ganged up on from the sides. And when you hear that tone, that means that you've finished the area. And we can go around and sort the rest of it. So possession is very useful early on because there's another little sightseer thing there. You can use it on the enemies, and even though it's expensive, you can use it on the machines as well. And not going to buy any upgrades for quite some time. You can make it through the start of the game pretty easily with the rest of all this stuff. And then we're going to try and scavenge and get as much salts as possible back, just so that we have some for making our run back, because now we need to go back and get the infusion that we had before. So we're going to pick all this stuff up. Accidentally picked up that health minus salts, which I didn't want to do, but never mind. And we're full on machine gun ammo again, so that's really good. So a ton of stuff to pick up here again. That's why we left plenty of salt pickups for using on the way back, because we want to have some salts you will get into encounters. You can't count on really getting a lot of the random stuff there. So, right, so plenty of money and things to pick up. Make sure that you get all that. I really love playing it with the scavenger hunt achievement in mind. It's much more fun than playing it if you're buying things from the dollar bills. But to be perfectly honest, it's no different than how I would have played even if that wasn't an achievement, because I like to do things as efficiently as possible. And anytime that you're buying ammo, you are essentially spending money that you don't really need, because it is possible, perfectly possible, to do it with the scavenger hunt pretty easily. If you do the gear farming, money farming trick, it's really quite easy then. But even if you didn't want to do that, it's pretty doable. So it's not really a concern. And any money that you spend on ammo or health or any of that stuff is just detracting from your upgrades, because you want to use Silver Eagles to upgrade your weapons, and probably even more importantly your bigger stuff. So yeah, here. Just gonna double check something there. Just checking the actual audio is recording, which it should be, I think. I didn't need to check that. Right, okay, let's have a look. Right, so here, not a lot to grab in this place, but there is like a wallet you can grab. There's some cigarettes as well, so you can keep your salts topped up. And there's a couple of enemies, but you can take them out just by possessing one of them. Okay. And then there's the wallet that you want to grab, and you may get something useful from killing these two as well. Like that. So worth doing. Just got a bit of salts from those. Top your health back up. Nothing else particularly interesting to grab, but worth having a look. And it didn't really cost me anything. Net gain was that wallet there. But you can get that without killing the two dudes if you want as well. Not that it really makes a difference, but there you go. Some food and stuff to grab there on the way back. Okay, so now we just got to make my way back to get the infusion, because you really don't want to miss any infusions. Like I say, this one has restocked for whatever reason, which is great. That one that I did pick up before has come back as well, so you don't have to worry about using that the first time through. So we're just going to come all the way back here. You can go back for this a lot earlier, but if you do it this way, it pretty much guarantees that you can use as much salts as you want going back. And if you use up all your salts on the enemies and the machines in that area, in the big room with the turret that are possessed and all those enemies. If you use up all your salts there, it means that you can easily use an infusion on salts when you come back this way, or grab some of these pickups if you want to use the infusion on shield instead, and end up with max salts from your infusions, which I find to be really useful. So let's go. So I think the next sort of benchmark for getting another use of possession, enough salts to be able to use possession again, is 7 infusions in salts. So I normally just go all the way to that. So I'm going to use the explosion on that. Usually take one guy out. Help your little buddy if you can, whilst he's possessed, and then possess another one. Really easy that way. Right, so they're all taken out, nice and easy. And this is why possession is just so ridiculously good. So, normal enemies take themselves out afterwards, and then we're good to go. So we looted that already. Only one last thing to loot here. There you go. So there's the health pack if you need a health pack. Those desks will have random things in, and there's the small med pack I was talking about there as well. Nothing else in here. Nothing else useful anyway. And here we are, all the way back to this little house area here. Won't have any enemies to fight for this bit, because even though you can hear them, they can't get you down here, so it's not an issue. So you see, I did have full salts again now anyway, so if I wanted to put an infusion in shield, I definitely could do. So you're good to go, whichever way you want to do it, to be honest. So let's have a look.
It's all right. I'm not like the rest. I'm impressive.
In fact, just to do things a little differently this time, I think I will actually go for shield instead for now. So there's a Vox phone here, so we're just going to change back to extra. So like I say, you can get the extra bit of money there, and you can either put this one in shield or in salts. So what I want to make sure is that by the end of the Hall of Heroes, I have 6 in shield and 8 in salts. So if I get all of those, it shouldn't be a problem. So I'm just going to put the next 2 into salts, shield, sorry, and then I'll put the next 2 after that into salts. I don't usually do it this way, but I've got to try things a little differently every now and again. In my walkthrough, I recommended that you just put them all into salts. 1 into shield and then all into salts until you've got 7 in salts. So you can do it either way. Right, so that's everything all sorted. Squared everything away. And now we can carry on. Got this bit of the backtrack and make sure you've got everything else all good to go. So you can see there 2 in salts and 5 in salts and 2 in shields. So very useful. Just make sure I grab that while I'm here. Nothing particularly useful, but never mind. So we are in pretty much perfect position. That's the start of the game done as well as you possibly could. So we've got full ammo for both of our weapons. We've got all the infusions as far as I'm aware, as far as I remember. We have got 3 uses of possession because of those extra infusions, and we've got urgent care to be able to use that, so that's really good. So just going to run all the way back through here. There's plenty of resources if you play carefully or properly. So it should never really be an issue in those terms. Don't think I've missed any pickups from enemies there or anything. It's always good. Now we're just going to make our way back. And take the skyline for the first time. Okay. Now you could possibly have enough to buy Devil's Kiss, one of those things, but like I say, Devil's Kiss really not as good on 1999 mode, so I never upgrade it or use it. It's the least effective vigor, I would say. It's definitely my least favourite to use on 1999 mode, so I'll not be making any use of that. Bit of soda there for extra salt if you were short for whatever reason. And then we've got the skyline here. There's another telescope for the sightseer achievement just there on the edge of that platform. Skyline strike that dude. And give him a whack. There you go. Right, so we've got all this stuff, and again, you can either put it into salts or put it into shield. We'll go with 3 with shield first, and then we'll put the next 2 into the salts. So I never bother with health because shield regenerates, and the more you use on salts, the salts pickups that you get are percentage based, so they're like 25%, 50% or 100%, and that basically means that your salts and the salts pickups go a lot further the more salts you have, obviously, which makes sense in terms of, like, if you pick up 50% you've got 3 uses of possession and you pick up 50%, or say you've got like 40% left or whatever, then you're going to be closer to getting more uses, so the salts pickups go further, which is why I love to put the infusions into salts on a scavenger hunt playthrough, because it makes those resources go further when you're not using a dollar bill. And the shield regenerates, so you're not having to worry about finding health pickups and stuff. It's better to have a larger shield, which lasts longer, in my opinion. Anyway, so that's how I play. Health is always the last thing that I start putting infusions into. So we can possess one of these dudes, and then just take out him. Pistol's pretty good at long range, you get plenty of ammo for it anyway, so no need to waste machine gun ammo in the early going. Machine guns, it's not an inaccurate weapon, but I tend to use it a little more like a sort of spray and pray type weapon, and try and save that ammo for when I want to take something down a lot more quickly. Use the pistol if I've got cover, and I'm able to do that. So there's some soda there, get that back. There's a salt pickup as well. So you can very easily stay full of salts a lot of the time because you've got those extra infusions from the DLC, or not DLC, it is from the DLC, but it'll be included with the Bioshock collection version, so that's fine. Now if you possess this guy, then run forward, you can trigger the other dude, and then give him a smack, and then they'll fight amongst themselves, and you can take them out. Now technically this piece of gear here is repeatable, because you could run forward, you could go on the skyline, trigger it, and then go forward from that, but not really worth doing. That's one of the absolute worst gears, so not that bothered about that. Would never use that one, but pick it up anyway, because like I say, they're random, you can't really do anything about it, so unless you want to try and repeat that one, but it takes too long because you have to double back on the skyline, so it's not worth it. I'll show you what I mean in just a sec. So we've cleared everything out there. So you come around here, this will, if you look at the top right again, it will save it as a checkpoint. I think.
Stand down! Stand down!
Yeah, so there you go, save the profile, that's auto save. So if you hadn't have picked up that gear, you could save it, take the skyline back round, pick it up and restart and keep doing that until you get one you want. But because of how long it takes to go on the skyline, it takes a lot longer than resetting for an easier piece of reset gear later. There are much easier resets to do, so I'll just leave it, it's not that crucial, and the pieces of gear that we already have from the DLC are more than sufficient so far, so that's cool.
Wounded knee.
So right now I've got extra. There's only a couple of enemies left to take out, so I'm not going to change off that next.
And of course.
Because we're going to need extra soon anyway.
And now.
Okay, so that's where I left it for episode 1. I hope you've enjoyed. Would you kindly like, comment and subscribe if you want to help out my channel and see the rest of the playthrough, and I will be back with more. Thanks for watching.